Alright, so Greg and I are here this morning about an hour before daylight right now, and we're about halfway to where we want to be. Yesterday we ended up having 3 longbeards and 5 hens come in. Almost got a shot yesterday afternoon, but we ended up circling around them, and then they ended up roosting literally right over our head. The hens roosted right above us. The gobblers roosted off to the east, maybe 150 yards. So one of the few times that we know exactly where these turkeys are. That doesn't mean anything, but it's supposed to be pretty breezy this morning, so it's probably good that we know right where they're at. In fact, we're kind of hopeful that this breeze will pick up a little bit and give us a little cover as we're easing in under these birds this morning. We're going to need to take all the time we got to get set up, and hopefully, if everything goes right, this will be a great hunt, and maybe it won't take all day again, and maybe I'll make the shot this time instead of whiffing. I feel like the gobblers are going to be 250 or 300 yards from us. But what we're dealing with is a wide open creek bottom, and we got to try to hide. So we found a spot here that we think we can hide. We're going to set up a little far away from them and bank on the fact that we think they're coming down this creek bottom at some point this morning. I'd love to be a little closer, but I just don't think it's practical at this point. We'll let it get light and see what happens. They're moving north, aren't they? Yeah, drifting away. Yep. I think we're still good to be on this side of it. We feel like the flock's headed north up this bottom. I would say last time the turkey gobbled, he was 250 yards. So we're just going to cut a little distance and sit back down. It doesn't feel like a very good gobbling morning. These turkeys didn't gobble. In fact, only one turkey gobbled out of the 3 at all. So I don't feel like prospecting would be a good option. We know these turkeys are in here. Just hang with them a little while and see if they get started back gobbling. Try to see if we can get close to them. So we just moved up about 100 yards. These birds are in this creek bottom. We're just trying to cut the distance down. They'd gotten 200, 250 away from us probably. So we've just sat down here and we're fixing to see if we can get them headed back this way. We feel like the turkeys are going to spend most of their day south of us, but for some reason they're headed north at the moment, so we're going to see what we can do with them. Almost sounds like they're on the other side. Yeah, they are. what Josh did. Josh didn't have a gun checking contest. Did you see him fall?
I heard him hit the ground, yeah.
I was as calm, had it on his head. Something ain't right. Man, I'm sorry. Gosh almighty. That ought not be that difficult. I was just fixing to use that last shell on myself. That's what, when he got airborne, I was just in total disbelief. I was like, and then I saw him. It was like he fell dead almost. Yeah. Normally with that red dot, if you got the dot on his head, it's over with. Gosh almighty, I'm gonna wash my hands off. I'm sorry, I know that ain't quite the way you wanted all that to happen, but that's the way it happens.
That's reality.
That's as reality as it gets. I hit that slate call, or that glass call, that second time, and I didn't know what to do with it when he gobbled. I saw him almost immediately.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
It took me a few seconds to find him, but he was moving through there at a pretty good clip.
He was looking.
Yeah.
These public land birds, boy. It can be a nightmare.
Ain't always pretty.
The last 2 days, today almost turned out to be a real nightmare. Oh, I guess I just shot him low. I gotta check the gun though, because I wouldn't. Yeah. When I pull the trigger, I know today. I know I was on it.
Yeah. How far was it for you?
35.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't shoot over 40, but this gun, I think it would kill a turkey to 60.
Right.
With those hand loads. I don't want to use that as an excuse, but.
Well, when you know you're on them solid like that.
Yeah.
Makes you wonder.
Got a pretty good beard, what's left of it. Well.
We talk about these bottoms.
Yeah, we
bird behavior.
You know, Greg and I really for the entire time we've hunted yesterday and today, we've just focused on these creek bottoms, and you can see, I mean, they don't have to be big creek bottoms. This creek bottom's not that wide. Basically just going in them even after daylight, listening into them in the morning. These turkeys roost over these creeks in these bottoms. They stay in here scratching in these leaves all day. They'll get in these pines, and a lot of guys kill them in these pines, but like Chris had said, when it gets, you know, really hot, those pines probably give a little more shade. This bottom's fairly open, especially right here, because we got beetle kill on the east side of it, so there's no shade. This gets pretty hot in the daytime, but yesterday we called them down this side of the creek, and they came scratching and drumming and strutting and doing what they all supposed to do. And then we looped around them, got on the north side of them, roosted them, got right back in the bottom with them this morning. But these creek bottoms, I mean, there's leftover acorns and grubs, and they like scratching in these leaves, and it's probably cooler down here lower, you know, close to this water. The same thing here. Of course, this is beetle kill. That'll be hen nesting habitat. You know, when the hens start going to nest, they can get in there and nest, and these gobblers will continue to use these creek bottoms and stuff. You know, Greg and I have focused almost solely on these bottoms. And
these birds probably aren't going real far.
No,
spending most of their day in and around this bottom.
Yeah, like same thing with Aaron and them. I mean, those birds probably ranged 400 or 500 yards all total, maybe 6. And these birds probably gonna be, I mean, who knows, they can go 1,000 yards till they get to the road, but you know, they really got everything they need down here in a quarter-mile section of this bottom. They've just always been in these bottoms. I mean, it's just the way it is down here, you know. In this part of Mississippi, this area is fairly flat, relatively speaking, so you know, it's not a lot of, probably 20 or 30 foot of elevation change from the high ridge that the road's on down in here to the bottom. So I think if you can find some of these bottoms that's got some good hard ground where the creek, they like these areas where the creeks wash the leaves away and the grass is low, they can get in here and strut, and then the hens can scratch. I mean, it's just literally got everything they could want, you know. And we know there's at least 2 longbeards left in here. So normally this time of the year, I was telling Greg, we have some 40, 45 degree cool, clear, crisp mornings. That's the mornings you hear all the gobbling. This morning we probably heard, what, a dozen gobbles, maybe 15,
mm-hmm.
But it was enough. And the good thing about that is they're not calling other hunters in, you know. I heard a hen cutting up over here on the first gobbler we heard, and I actually thought maybe it was a hunter that had come in, but it was a hen on the ground early that had gone to him. So if they're not gobbling much, but you know where they are, maybe they won't call hunters into them, you know. But this was fun. I mean, it was a fun 2 days.
Yeah, heck yeah.
And I gotta go do some gun patterning now. Oh man.
Thanks for letting me tag along with you, Josh. That
hey.
was a lot of fun.
It was
Got to
fun.
see a lot in a day and a half.
Man, yeah, that was a blast. So we can get to the truck and get us some water and maybe go have breakfast.
There we go. Celebrate.
Yeah. Good job, man.